So what's up, everyone? It is your girl Jail Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into another battle of the, I'm just kidding, it's not a battle of the, this is my new Untitled Eyeshadow Palette series. I kind of want to call it Battle Royale, so that's what we're gonna call it today. How about that? Anyway, so y'all know we had to do it. Natasha Denona against Mother. We had to do it. I had to bring some luxury up through here, and who else was I gonna do it with? None other than Natasha Denona and Mother, or Pat McGrath, as she's also known. Mother, Auntie Pat, whichever one you like to use.
It should be a tournament instead.
It's just Natasha. But anyway, so I got 4 different palettes from the brands. But the funny thing is, all the palettes I have for Natasha are small. So it's just all 4 small palettes. And then all big palettes. So y'all know I usually rank them. You know what I rank them by, because this is about the 3rd time you have seen this. So let's get into it, shall we? Because I still got to take this off and do like 2 more videos, and the boy is ready to go home, and we still have to go buy gas. So I have the, what is this, the Sunrise palette up against the bronze, I want to say Seduction. I believe this is 5, it's called, don't quote me. So I basically tried to do like warm tones, neutralist tones, cool tones, and then just random colorful set. But Mother seems to love to do warms and cools, and she doesn't like to do much color, so I just had to work with what I could. So we got Natasha here and Mother, and as you can see, they're somewhat similar. I feel like Mother's a little more grungier than this one. It's a little bit brighter in my personal opinion, but you know, let's get into it. So of course, y'all know I'm living for Mother's packaging. Like, we all are used to the acrylic heavy weighted packaging that, you know, screams money, but as much as it costs, you know, it should scream money. Because this is $125 and you only get 10 shades, so that's a lot. I love the color story of this one quite a bit. I'm not even a warm tone person, but I had to have this palette. Whereas, and y'all know Mother's special shades are just giving everything in life. So she gets 1 for the packaging, and she gets 1 for the formula, and then she gets 1 for like the color story. So Mother got 3 automatically, but I feel like y'all already knew that. Let's get into Natasha's now. Now, I like the color story of this, okay. It's just more of, I ended up buying this because this is the first one she came out with in this size, and I wanted to try it to see if the formula and the quality was going to be just as good as the bigger ones, because I'd heard like the inconsistencies in the smaller ones. So with this, I would say the color story is okay. The packaging is just meh, but I do appreciate the fact that she lets that you can pop out the shades and move them around to where you want to, and basically make single shadows out of your luxury eyeshadows. That is the unique take that I feel like Natasha took, so she gonna get a 3 as well, because I'm not super crazy about the color story, because she likes to put a lot of these shades in I can't use, and a lot of like repeat shades. Not that Mother doesn't do repeat shades either, but for this, it's gonna get a 3, but it's not because I'm so in love with the color story or the packaging. It's more that she lets me pop them out and move them out the way I want to. And the color story of this is okay, and the formula on this was just as good as her bigger one. So far, they tied at 3. And y'all know Mother gave us this stunning, stunning outer packaging in addition to the packaging. So compared to Natasha's packaging, Mother gets the 10 just packaging alone. If I had to do an extra one for packaging, she would get an extra point just for packaging, because it has the inner and then the outer and all that. And I'm like, yeah, no. But next, we're going to do the retro palette up against the Mega Mothership Celestial Divinity. I feel like these have similar enough colors to them, so I honestly just tried to find similar enough colors in each palette to justify pairing them against one another. And then we're going to figure out which one I'm going to do on the eyes last. But this is what this palette looks like, and this is what this one looks like. So as you can see, they have a lot of rosier and pinker reddish tones to them, and that's what I was going for. I mean, I know there are some purples in here, and Mother loves to put some gold in, so there's gonna be some golds, but overall I feel like these were similar enough. And the rose palettes Mother actually came out with, because of the special shades, I feel like they wouldn't go as well with these, so I just chose to pick for this one. So this is what we're going with, okay? So again, packaging for Mother is 10 out of 10. I love this. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like the strings. I appreciate the strings, because I understood, like, you know, when you sit it down, you're supposed to be able to sit on your vanity like that, and it should be able to be portable and travel friendly and whatnot. So that's what the strings are for. I wasn't irritated with the way other people were, so for me the packaging is a 10 out of 10, just fine. Now, I know people excuse me, I know people were irritated because this is just, what do you call it, the Star Wars palettes, and she only had 6 new shades in. But I was one of those people who didn't get the Star Wars palettes because people went online and bought it before you were supposed to, according to the time that she sent us, which is why I sold out before other people who actually know how to follow instructions. ended up getting it. So I was like, okay. So I was personally glad with it, but I can understand why some people aren't. But since I'm ranking it, it's going to get a 10 out of 10 for Color Story 2. So as usual, the formula was good on this, which another reason I bought this because I was concerned about if the formula was going to be just as good. The formula is just as good as this as it is in her bigger palette. So again, Mother gets another 3 points for all 3 of those. Now with this one, the formula on this is really good. Again, I love the fact that you can pop out the shadows. I mean, I'm not crazy about this packaging, but I like it better than the I guess faux leather, because I don't like the older ones because they have that plastic thing over the top with the shades on it. I'd rather just, you know, have the shades on here the way this is. So the packaging is improved in that regard, but like, I don't know, because Mother does so much extra design and effort that she puts into her packaging. Natasha's just is always okay to me, because it's like Mother doing all this stuff with all these extra things, and the unicard matches the thing and everything else, and this is just okay compared to that. But like I said, she always wins because you can pop these shades out and make your own palette. So that's how she gonna end up again getting the 3, because like the packaging isn't that great, but the color story is nice. The formula on this is one of the good formulas, and then I can pop the shades out. So again, we still tied at 6 for 6. Next, we have my all-time favorite Natasha Denona palette. When it comes to the middies, this is the Love palette. Y'all know I absolutely love this. And then this is Mothership. I think it's 8 or 9. It's 8 or 9. This is the utopian dream that we were all rooting for, and then we saw and was like, oh, yeah, okay. So this is what she looks like, and the packaging on this alone is a 10 out of 10. Y'all like, oh my god, look at this. Mother was giving all the color in the packaging, not the palette. Thank you. She gave it all. But yeah, so this is what she looks like on the inside. Absolutely stunning. And y'all know what my Love palette looks like. And again, I tried to pick palettes that look similar. If you can't tell, there's like these pinky shades in here, and then there's purples in here, and there's purples in here. So I tried to get as close as I could. These are both absolutely stunning. Again, Mother's packaging is 10 out of 10. Mother's formula is 10 out of 10. I am a little disappointed in the color story of this, but it's like, you know, that purple makes up for all of it. The 2 special shades on the end to me just make up for the fact that she didn't give us as much color as we like. And as many matte palettes as I have from indie brands that are going to give me all the color in the world I want, I just usually pair a colorful all matte palette with her palettes and use the shimmers that she has instead. So that works for me. So this is 3 again. The packaging, formula, and colors work. So again, absolutely loving it. Now when it comes to this one, it's going to get a 3 again, because when I first tried this though, I actually did not like the formula on this. I had to get used to the cream powder formula on here. But once I kind of found my take with it, I absolutely loved it and was here for it, and I was like, yes. So this gets a 3 because as usual, I can take the stuff out of it, and this is actually my favorite color story out of all of these, and the quality on this is really nice. So we had what, about 9 for 9? Yeah. This is the last one we got, and this is the Celestial Odyssey palette alongside the what palette is this? The Zendo palette. Now, these color stories I felt like were the most similar, and these are the palettes that we're going to use in the actual battle when I put these on my eyes. So here we are. This is the 2021 holiday collection, and this is, I believe this was her spring or summer collection. And as you can see, again, the color stories are pretty similar. So we're going to make a look with each one of these palettes. Now, packaging 10 out of 10 is usually the unicard matches this. The formula, she added new formulas into this that aren't in the one I showed you from 2020. So that alone is making this be something lovely to me. I know the color story isn't much to write home about a lot, but I like the fact that she gave me formulas in here, which I was excited about. Like, I think it's like this green one and like this black one here is a special glittery-ish formula. Now I don't know if I'm necessarily use those in the look, just because I don't think it'd be fair since Natasha hasn't come out with any new formula since her cream to powder. But another 3 out of 3 with this one. Now with this one from Natasha, I can't say this is a great formula. A lot of people don't really like the formula this already. I mean, it's workable, but compared to some of our other palettes, the formula on this isn't that great. The color story is okay, but it's more warm toned than cool tone, which I wasn't a super huge fan of either. So with that being said, this is gonna probably get it 2, because I can still pop out the shades and move around the way I want to. And it's not like the color story is bad, it's just more warm tone than cool tone, and I'd have preferred, like, you know, a better mixture of both. So I actually kind of want to give this a 1 just because I can take the shades out and move them as I please, because I'm not a huge fan of this packaging, but I like the fact that it has the names on here. So this one actually gets a 1, y'all. So that bumps Natasha down, because Mother has 12 now and Natasha only has 10. So let me zoom y'all on in now. If you're curious what's on my eyes right now, I did a look with the Your Golden palette I created from ColourPop to show you all that I wasn't buying the Getting Fresh palettes. So you'll see that video before you'll see this one. But I'm gonna go off camera now, swatch some colors so we can figure out what eye look we're gonna do with this palette, and then we're gonna go ahead and get the 2 eyes done on camera. Okay, girl? Okay, y'all. So I have picked some colors in here. I got both the golds here swatched on my hand, you can see them. And then I got some of the shimmers that we're gonna put on. Of course, we gotta use neutral shades because her and Mother have the neutrals in common. So we're gonna do that. But yeah, so I'm gonna start off with, what is it? They have 2 light shades. So let me grab 2 different brushes from the same brand. So I'm going to use this brown on the outer V. I'm going to use this shade on the lid since it transfers to the same color as the one in Natasha's palette. I'm trying to make sure all the shades match. Only thing that's not going to match is the gold we put in the inner corner, because this gold is more of that yellow gold like in the Bridgerton highlighter, and Natasha's gold is not the same. I'm going to use this in the crease. And those are the shades we're using in this palette. Now in this palette we're going to use this shade, these 2 shades, and then the gold. So let's get into it. Okay, girl? Okay. So I'm gonna take this lighter brown in Mother's palette, and this is Mother's side. I figure you already knew that. We're actually using Natasha's eyeshadow primer, though, funny enough. I didn't bring Mother's wand for the glitters to put them on, or the shimmer shades on my lid. So sorry I don't have that, but that's what I'm working with. Then I got, I think, 2 more videos to film, y'all, and I'm done. Like, I'm hoping I don't have to come back. But if my Nocturnal palette from Glaminatrix shows up tonight, when I get home, I will come back. Period. Because it will be necessary then. I have been waiting for this palette to show up for like 2 months. From Australia. So, yeah. If it shows up, it'll be here. But see, it just looks like a warm tone version of my skin tone. I feel like you can't even tell I put anything on. And if you're someone who just wants to even out your complexion, I feel like this would be like a good thing for you to do in the morning. But you could always just do your bronze and your crease and save them coins, girl. Let's get into Natasha's palette. Let me close Mother's up. I'm going to drop that. So I'm going to take the shade that I showed you all, that I feel like is really similar to the shade in Mother's palette. Yeah, like look at that, y'all. Like I feel like they look exactly the same. Like it's a little, the one on Mother's side is a tad bit darker. I mean a tad bit darker than this one that we just put on Natasha's side, in my personal opinion. To me, this seems to be more like the undertone of the bronzer from Fenty, the what is it, Coconut. This seems to be like the eyeshadow version form of Coconut from Fenty Beauty. Whereas this one seems to be a little more neutral, and this seems to be more yellow undertone. That's just my personal opinion. You can tell me down below if you agree. But sorry, I'm holding it up way too high. Okay, so there we go, both the shades so far. I feel like we look pretty much the same. Next, let's get into the dark brown shades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dark brown from the top, from Mother's palette, like I told y'all. And since she doesn't have names on the front of hers, I gotta look at what I gotta work with. So it needs to blend it out very nicely. From what I remember in Natasha's palette, I felt like the warms worked a little bit better than the cool tone. So I figured if I was going to use these and pair it with this one, I had to be fair. So that's why I made sure I did a warm tone look instead of a cool tone look. Because I don't know how well her palette would have fared against the cool tones. Plus, Mother didn't really do that many cool tones in this one. So it worked out in favor. And this is the way I just had them randomly stacked. So I was like, this is what we're going to end it with. I know you probably would have thought I did Utopian Dream since it was her newest palette. But I was just like, no. I wanted to use this one with the new special sparkling shades in it, so that's what I did. Fight me if you want. Now down his heel. Okay, how about that? And as you can see, it's blended out quite nicely. I'm not trying to make it a super dark outer V. I'm more concerned about the sparkly shimmers I get to put on in a minute. Now we're gonna go into the dark one here, and this is a cream to matte Formula brown shade. And as you can see, it's quite warmer. So it's like all her shades seem to be warmer, and then it's not pulling as deep as I was hoping. So that's a little bit disappointing. So the quality of it's fine, but I don't know. To me, it doesn't give enough depth. So it's going to lose a point on that. Because look how much lighter the side of my eye is versus this one. Like, there's not enough depth, Natasha, girl. What are you doing? And for it to look as deep as it did in the pan where I showed y'all, that's why I picked it in particular. Because I was like, okay, it should work. But, you know, apparently not. But I don't really play with this palette that often because, you know, everybody remembers how the front was kind of hit and miss. And when I do have cool tones, I wouldn't necessarily reach for this one just for the cool tones. Let's see if we can build it up a little bit more, y'all. Because right now it's just kind of disappointing. I remember Andrea Montanalo ended up decluttering this palette because she wasn't a fan of it either. And like I said, I've heard a lot of people in the beauty community say they weren't impressed about the palette. So yeah, it's not building up any more depth. It's kind of like a honeyish brown, reddish type shade. Whereas this one is more of the brown I was looking for. Just a deeper brown that matches my skin tone better. So far, Natasha ain't not doing that for me, girl. Okay, now we're going to go to the sparkly shades on the lid, which I'm most excited about. I'm going to take a glitter glue. And where's my brush? And we're going to put those shades on the lid. And then we just put the gold in the inner corner. And then we're going to hear my thoughts on who won. I'm dreading having to wash all these brushes, y'all. Like, it's a nightmare. So I don't want to do it. I think I'm going to take a separate brush and put the shimmers on each lid, because I'm like, I don't want them to be contaminated with the other one's thing. But for right now, I'm just putting glitter glue on both eyes with the same brush, because I'm trying to save myself from washing as many brushes as I can. I already got to do all the face brushes, and then I have to turn around and do the eyeshadow brushes too. And I'm done, like, this is my second eye look, and I said I want my eye look to do like this. So I'm like, I just don't want to jinx it and or have too many brushes I have to redo. Plus, I can just have this as my set glitter glue brush for the next eye look I have to do, and then I'm gonna have to use two. The first one I didn't think about doing that with, so you know better, you do better. So let me try me a brush. I'm thinking about just using the brush that I had for you know, the matte shades to save brushes too, but I don't know. I don't want to contaminate the color of the things, and the dual chromes might be the same. So I think you're just gonna have to go ahead and use two different brushes. So I can make me upset. But oh well. Start off with Mother's. I'm glad I did, because this shade seems like it's gonna be awfully flaky. Oh my, look at it. Yes. The stunning glitteriness of it all, honey. Yes. And I tried to use like the most affordable one of hers, since like the other ones, the $65 one is much smaller. That's another reason I particularly picked this palette. And Zendo was the one that matched the color story of this palette the best. So, yep, this is the new formula that she came out with the glitter or whatever. But this is the only shifting shade that matched the shifting shade in Natasha's palette. So, I mean, I'm not liking how soft my eye looks, because y'all know that's not my style. But, you know, this glitter shade on the lid is giving me everything. Look at it, y'all. Look at that sparkly glitteriness. Yes, mother, come through. So I'll just go ahead and put the inner corner shade in there now too. Why not? It's just like the bright gold I told you about. So let's do that. And Mother's eye is now done. Okay, so we're gonna go to the other side now. I'm gonna take Natasha's shade. I'll definitely say Natasha's shade is more pigmented, but it's more on like the satin-ish type side. It's not giving me the glitter and sparkle that Mother's is giving. And that's what I like about Mother. She always has that special shade. And to me, this eye is just looking, it's not giving, you know, the excitement that Mother's is giving because of the glitter and the sparkle. And then this just depth and the tone of the outer V, because the outer V is kind of warm and this is warm. And then the crease shade pretty much matches my skin tone with a little bit of a yellowish undertone. So I don't know, I was hoping it would give more, and I tried to do warm tones just for it to be more fair. But I wanted the price point of both palettes we used to be the same, which is why I chose this one. So okay, y'all, so these are both the finished eye looks, Mother and Natasha. We're gonna zoom out and we're gonna give our final ranking. So remember, when we started, Natasha was at 10 and Mother was at 12 because Natasha, the Zendo palettes formula isn't that great. And then I'm not really too crazy about the packaging when it comes to these palettes. Now, for final verdict, I'm gonna have to say Mother wins because she gives you the depth that you need for the outer V. For someone like me who likes to create colors like this, she has a new formula in this palette in particular, which makes it nice to work with. And the price point on this is much better than her normal thing, because she rarely makes smaller price points for palettes. So I'm gonna have to go with it. I like Natasha's cream matte formula in this palette, but the shimmers in here were lacking to me, and then the lack of depth in this outer V is like what's, you know, taking it down. So the performance of it was fine, so I'll give her 1 for performance, but it's like when it comes to the richness in colors and, you know, the eye look overall, I'm just feeling Mother's side better than her side. So she got 1 more point, so she has 11 and Mother has I believe it's 14. Because I said I like the way it performed, and I like the way the shadows performed, and I like the eye look overall. So yeah, Mother has 14, Natasha has 12. So Mother wins this battle. But let me know down below how you feel about it and how you feel about these eye looks. Because I remember having the same complaints when I did the look with this palette before. But again, I was trying to be fair, because it's like if I use a $125 palette, it should be better than the $65 palette. So I've used her cheapest palette that she has in her collection up against the natashadenona one, since they were the only ones that had matching colors with. So that's how we got where we are. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.